Welcome. You're about to learn how to make virtual meetings more interactive. By the end of this video, you'll learn 6 ways to make your next virtual meeting even more interactive. You'll learn why you need to be interactive in the first 5 minutes of your virtual meeting. You'll know the number one person in your next virtual meeting, and hint, it's not you. You'll gain insight to the easiest way to engage everyone in your next virtual meeting. In the end, I'll share a virtual meeting that was so interactive that someone complained. They said, "You're too interactive," and I'll tell you why. These 6 steps spell out engage, E-N-G-A-G-E. And every time you do one of these 6 steps, the odds of your virtual meeting being perceived as engaging go way up. The first one is engage. Engage and interact with every attendee. Now it sounds simple, but if you want more engagement, then engage. It means for you that many speakers just start talking and keep talking for 10, 20, 30 minutes or more. But you should engage in the first few minutes with your audience and make sure that you have a plan to engage and interact with every attendee before the end of your meeting. Something that's so simple that you can do is just ask every single one of your audience members to chat. Somebody has asked me about my best icebreakers, and I actually go back to the easiest one of all, which is, hey, where are you calling in from? Now, there's some key reasons behind it. One of the reasons is it's easy. Everybody knows where they are. So it's easy for them to think about and to chat immediately. But 2, it gets them ready for more interesting or more challenging chats I might ask them to do later. So that's one of the best ways to engage everyone at the beginning is to ask a simple request, such as chat where you're calling in from. Other questions could include chat what you had for breakfast. So again, I look for these questions that are very easy to answer, and that's one of the ways you can get everyone to engage, and they're more likely to engage later. The N stands for never meet alone. Virtual meetings are still challenging enough that it's very difficult for one person to do everything. Maybe you've heard this common phrase, well, now I'm gonna share my screen. Number 1, as the audience, you never needed to know that, right? And so number 2 is that you can look for somebody to help you. So here's the number 1 person you need to look for your next virtual meeting. Get a producer. That person can be as easy as somebody who monitors the chat so that you don't have to pay attention to the people and to the chat at the same time. But great producers can do almost everything for you. They can share your screen. They can run polls. They can run breakout rooms. And the key for that is that so you, the speaker, you can spend all of your time focusing on this, the audience. And you can have your producer focus on everything else. What the attendees will feel with that is that you are engaged with them, that you are connected to them, and not having to divert your attention to some other piece of technology. So think about getting a producer, and how could a producer help you in your next virtual meeting so that you can be perceived as more engaging to your audience. G stands for good looks, and that starts with you. Make sure you dress up for the occurrence, right? If you're the presenter or the host of the meeting, you should dress appropriately like you're in charge. You might want to dress up a little bit more so that people see you as being professional inside of the meeting. Part of looking good too is what's behind you. So really look at what's in your background. Often we have seen cats in people's backgrounds, right? It could be clothes in the background, could be somebody's door, could be a bathroom. Those are not things that people really want to see. So there are very easy ways, since the camera has a limited sight vision, is to think about how can I arrange my background in such a way that it would be looking good to my audience. These are all things that will be perceived as the audience as being professional. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called Blink. And inside that book, Blink, it says that we as humans make snap judgments in literal seconds with decades of our experience. Part of your good looks is to help your attendees make that snap decision saying, oh, well, this is a great presenter, this is a great speaker, as opposed to, wow, I feel like I'm in somebody's bedroom and this person is not prepared and they're in yoga pants. So that's how to use good looks to help your audience feel more engaged with you. The A stands for air traffic control. On a normal US day, there are over 5,000 flights flying in the air and they don't crash into each other. Why? Because they have air traffic control. Your audio channel in a virtual meeting is exactly the same way. If you don't have somebody doing air traffic control, 2 or 3 or 10 or 100 people can be trying to talk at the same time and nobody will be understood. So by having an air traffic controller or a facilitator, it will cue people to when they can talk. On most virtual platforms, it's almost impossible to understand anybody if 2 or more people are talking at the same time. Until our technology gets better, then by having air traffic control, your meetings will become more engaging because people will be understood. You won't have to waste time repeating yourself to be understood. An air traffic controller can also help cue people to when they should talk. It will help you get rid of awkward pauses, like if you ask a question and nobody answers. What it could also do is show you who should be speaking next. So you might be able to say, okay, Sue's going to go first, and now Fred's going to go next. Now they know an order, and now they can also prepare when they're going to speak. The second G stands for Get Productive with Virtual Tools. Every platform has virtual tools, and you should figure out which ones there are and how to use them. This is a key way to engage your audience. Chat can also be one of the most valuable spots on virtual. Chat is a place where you can get people's reactions quickly to something. They can even start side discussions while the speaker is presenting. And many people share valuable links inside of the chat. In one company meeting we had, the 2 co-founders were marked afterwards about how valuable chat was during their meetings, where they were able to get comments from their most senior executives that they had, as well as somebody who just started the company 2 weeks ago. They were really blown away by how powerful and how engaging chat could be and how useful it was for them to gain feedback from their teammates and employees. In addition to the tools that are built into a platform, look to get productive with tools that are outside the platform. Things like Miro, Mural, and Mentimeter. There are other tools that you can use that can help you expand the capabilities. If you missed using Post-its, now you can go back and use Post-its again in these spaces where many people contribute at the same time, and that you can brainstorm in these virtual spaces that represent almost exactly the same thing as in person. So look for other tools outside of just what's inside your platform if you're looking to achieve a goal. The last D stands for End on a High Note. We took this from product market research. In product market research, they said during a 60-minute demo, if you could architect a high note in the last 3 minutes of that presentation, people were more likely to buy. Your virtual meeting is exactly the same way. If you could create a high note supporting the key points you've been trying to make during this meeting, people are more likely to remember them and more likely to use them going forward. Think about how you can end on a high note in your next presentation. All of these 6 steps were used in a 1,200 person training conference that was held virtual for the first time. And we know they worked. We tested these items by sharing with every trainer who was presenting to use these 6 items in their presentations. What was amazing is that we had over 200 people who were working together to make it engaging for the 1,200 people who were in that conference. And when we came back out of that, there was a top trainer named Bob Pike who had been in the industry for 4 decades, and he said, hosting an all live 100% virtual conference is a huge risk, ... unless you have the right team. We got the right team for this conference, and it was the most engaging and the only 100% live training conference in the industry during the pandemic. So these are the ways that you can use these 6 steps to make your next virtual engaging.